Hopefulness 2.0, March 8th, 2026. I got me a new coffee mug. Anchor Hocking. Anchor Hocking mug, 16 ounces. Oh, I gotta do a lot of cleaning today. I hate daylight savings. It was 2 p.m. I went to bed at approximately like a few minutes before 2 a.m. Really, it's more like 1 p.m. But because we sprung forward for some stupid ass reason, it's now 2 p.m. When I first vacuumed with my vacuum cleaner, I didn't check to see if it had a bag in it. And then a couple of days later, I was like, I should check to see if there's a bag in it. There's no bag in it. So that's going to be a fun thing to clean out. I have to figure, probably just dump it out as much as I can, and then maybe do something with the filter. I don't know. I do some vacuuming. I got to clean up in here because I have two big dirty pans. I got some dirty plates and stuff. I'm gonna make some hot dogs right now. Fuck it. Oh man, I'm hungry. Is it gonna go well with the pizza? Or I'm sorry, with the coffee? Probably not. But you know what? I don't care. Exhausted for whatever reason. Probably just because, I exist. And I've been busting my ass for the last week trying to just do stuff. So these are bar S hot links. Do 2 at a time. Stab them 3 times on each side. And it helps make it, work. Helps make it work. Oh man. I still have some. Just yesterday, the foot tub came in, and I was like, you know what? Let's just treat it like a dish tub right now until I get everything taken care of and clean. That way, I'm not, just filling the sink up with nothing. Those things can soak up and maybe actually get clean. Who knows? I need to adopt clean as you go, but it's so hard for me to do. And nobody's ever, trained me on how to do it. So I've got to figure it out myself. And me figuring out a new method of how to do something is very difficult. Especially on a day like today where it's basically the day of jet lag. And we force upon ourselves for some stupid ass reason. And I gotta clean my clothes, I gotta do some laundry. As far as I'm aware, I can do laundry at any time of the day. So, I'm not going to go to the grocery store today. I went yesterday, I was going to get some chicken and eggs, maybe some bacon. There was no chicken whatsoever, no chicken thighs at all, which was surprising. I think it's just because, I think Smart and Final sales end on Tuesday. And so since it's the end of the sale week, and I don't believe it was on sale, but it was saying, it has a little sticker on the side that says electrically monitored to reduce prices or something like that. I don't know. Because they don't want to throw away all that shit. And I'm sure, there was expiration dates on them and stuff. So they probably, it would have been a good time for me to have been able to buy some, but there wasn't anything there. Which is unfortunate. That's whatever. So I bought 2 things of eggs instead. 2 30 packs. So I have plenty of eggs now. I can make more popovers if I want to. This oven is weird. It's small. I would think would heat up faster. And it doesn't seem to want to heat up that fast. Because yesterday when I made the popover, the pan just wasn't hot after 10 minutes. It was barely warm enough to melt butter. And that butter had been sitting out for about 10 minutes. Because what I'd done, initially I put the pan in there and everything. But I'd forgotten to turn it on. Which, that'll happen with me all the time. So it's alright, well, let's turn this back on. Stuck it in there for 10 minutes, and every oven that I've ever used usually has a preheat function of some kind, and once it's done preheated, it tells you. This one doesn't seem to have it, so that's unfortunate. I could try again later just to see if it shouts at me. Tonight, I think I'm going to make another Dutch baby just to see if it'll yell at me. But tonight, I'm going to give it a 30-minute window. So I'll take out the Dutch baby. I'll take it, I'll put it in there for 30 minutes just to see what the timing situation is. And that'll give it plenty of time for it to preheat and all that too. Because the pan just wasn't hot enough when I first put it in there. Now, it did get up to 10. It was up to 5, because I knocked it up to 500. But then it kind of undercooked the Dutch baby because, the pan wasn't hot enough. But parts of the outside of the Dutch baby were. So, it got nice and poofy and it looked amazing. But then, it just sunk down and it deflated and it was just really kind of gooey. It wasn't terrible or anything. It's just that I need to be able to dial in the temperatures and the times and stuff so that I can better prep for it. Because one of the things, and I'm doing this recipe, it's from Adam Ragusa, and it's worked so many times. It's been extremely effective. Where I put it in for 15 minutes, take it out, it deflates a bit, whatever. Then I throw on maybe some eggs, some cheese, some seasonings, whatever. Just whatever I want to throw on top of it, and then throw it back in there for another 5 minutes, and it's always come out really well. Now, granted, that was a bigger oven; it was a gas oven, so I have to. I gotta deal with that. So those are cooked, so let's just let them sit there. And I've got Gouda and I've got or Gouda. There's Parmesan, so I was throwing those on there too, and that was kind of making a bit of a mess. What am I doing? So I've got to be able to figure, because I don't have a lot of workspace. Especially with, these things just sitting here. Some of, I made the coffee, so it's just a wet. And then some of the other stuff, one of the things about some of the stuff that I had in storage, bottles especially, I don't know exactly how clean I can get them. It would be a lot better if I had a dishwasher, but I don't. Because that way, it'll really do its shit. But, it is what it is. I can't. Oh, I think I already mentioned it. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. But I'm not going to be able to get the $750 gift card until April because they've only been allowed to buy like 10 a month. I think what they need to do, and I'm probably going to mention this tomorrow if I can remember, is they need to have like sort of the first moved in, first served, so first come, first served type situation for the cards, so that people don't just come in here and grab them before others, because we were promised these things. And like, they are telling us, yeah, you're going to get them. We're promised these, blah, blah, blah. And apparently, American Express, like, put a stop to them buying too many at once or something like that. And now they can only buy like 10 a month. Which is weird, but whatever. And I gotta get a fucking money order to pay my rent because I can't pay it online, and I can't pay with a card at the moment because I can't pay it online. And online is how you pay with a card. Also a bummer. Fortunately, there's a Wells Fargo down the street, so it's not too much of a walk. I need to get some more mustard. Almost done with this. Had that jar of mustard for at least a year, I think. So the thing that I know about certain types of food safety is that some things can be open and sat on the shelf for an extended period of time. Like, when I mean extended, I mean very extended, years, months. Anything that has vinegar in it is pretty much likely to be okay. Acetic acid. Acetic acid is a preservative. Oh no, it's got preservatives. Which means what? It's going to happen to you if you consume things that are preservative. Fucking nothing. And I live in California, where supposedly everything, due to I think it was Prop 60, has cancer-causing materials in it, which, because of how just generalized that's the sentiment of that prop is, they just put it on everything that has the potential. And it was a well-meaning proposition, but boy, did it not do anything. I mean, you could basically say that it would be equivalent to having a warning label that tells you that it was either made with or contains water. Basically everything. And again, it had a lot of well-meaning behind it, want to avoid cancer. But you know what causes, what the biggest thing, the most, what's the biggest signifier of cancer is aging. Like, back in my 20s and 30s, when I would hear, especially in my early 30s when I was hanging out with Occupy Wall Street and stuff, it's like, when I came to California from Texas, there was a lot of different concerns. Like, I remember a concern when I was living in Texas about a woman wearing, I think it was a hijab, on her driver's license. And this was like in Florida. So it wasn't even a concern in Texas. But because people made a big hullabaloo about it, and there were people in Texas who were like against this thing, against this person. And again, I think it was just the hijab. So it was just the hair covering. It wasn't even like the full burqa or anything that, where it covers the face. And I was like, so what's the fucking deal? They're like, well, if you ever get pulled over, I'm like, first of all, why are we worried about being pulled over as much as we are? We're white. We don't do anything wrong. But, I even got that talk of, like, not really, but, nothing like people of color, especially the black community, get the talk about, cops. Theirs is about literal safety, about life, about saving lives. But anyway, I gotta cut this short soon. But it's like, okay, what happens if, like, me? Like, if you look at my current ID and you look at me now, I don't look the same. That ID happened 2021. I've got a lot more hair on my face and a lot more hair on my head. It's like, it's just a religious thing. If you're allowed to wear a cross in your, crucifix around your neck in your driver's license, you should be able to wear the head covering. Who cares? And there was all these weird fucking reasonings. And it's just none of it made any sense. And then I come to California, and like, they don't care about that as much. And they're caring about other stuff, which a lot of times also don't make any sense, like chemtrails. It's like, chemtrails aren't real. Like, you can't prove that they are chemtrails. You cannot tell me what the chemical makeup of that shit is. Unless you have, like, a really good mass spectrometer to give me the spectrographic reading of what that trail is. And then some jackass can be like, and then it's not even going to show you the right thing. They're going to have messed with it to make it look like this or that. They're just coming up the truth. Go look up at HARP. And it's just like, son of a fucking bitch. And I looked up HARP because I had never heard of it. HAARP. I looked it up. Who cares? It's not weather control. Like, cloud seeding has been a thing since like the 50s. And they're just sprinkling silver nitrate into the atmosphere, which is a condensation nuclei because it has a lot of surface area on it. Who fucking cares? And again, the dose makes the poison. Everything has an LD50. And it's just like, and then they talk about cancer this, cancer that. And I'm like, we're outside under the sun through most of the day. We have a higher chance of getting cancer than anybody else at the moment. I never picked up on that shit either. And I was like, okay, what doesn't cause cancer? And I could never get a real answer. Because we don't really know that answer. We can't. Because one, you can't really prove a negative. But two, potentially anything could be cancerous. But if you live your life afraid of what might cause cancer, just kill yourself. Get it over with. Because there's too much stuff in life that has the potential, no matter how small, if it's more than 0, it has a potential to cause cancer. Even water has a potential to cause cancer because it might have cancer-causing, it might have carcinogens in it from something else. And I'm sorry, but cancer doesn't just come from synthetic stuff, from stuff that's made specifically by humans. There's there's stuff out there in nature that can also cause cancer. I mean, one of the first synthetic things that humans ever did can cause cancer, which is making fire. Also, I forgot. I don't know. Well, I can't put one of my racks up over there between the mirror and the fuse box because it's too wide. So I won't be able to do that. I might be able to put it up in front of the mirror, but it might block the mirror too much, so we'll see about that as well. Otherwise, I might put it up over here near the end of the bed, and it shouldn't be too much of a hindrance because I also want to put up my my painting. And I found out that the little hooks are just a little too weak for that, so I'd have to put 2 up, which won't be too much of a problem. Anyway, I gotta go because I gotta take care of shit. So, what doesn't cause cancer? I don't know. Also, pay your people better. Have fun.